Mist is an awesome effect to increase realism and to increase quality of your renders. So in this video, I'm going to show you how to make mist in two ways. The first way is to use the mist pass built into Blender. Firstly, I'm going to set up a simple scene. This just involves some basic shapes at various distances. Now that I have this done, we can start the mist. Firstly, go into Scene View Layer, and then go down to Passes, then take the mist pass. Now to see where the mist lies, select the active camera, go to Camera Settings and Viewport Display, then take the mist box again. Now if you look at the camera from a different perspective, you should see an orange line. This orange line shows where the mist is. Now if you go to World Settings, you should see the mist pass as a drop-down box. From there, you can control how far away the mist starts and how far away it ends. But it's not done yet, because after you play around with the start and end, render a frame. Now go to Compositing and select Use Nodes. From the Renders Layer node, you should see the mist pass as something you can plug into another node. Then from here, add in a Viewer node and connect it to the image so you can see the image in the background. Then add in a Color Ramp, plug the mist into the Factor, then add in a Mix node. Plug in the original image to the top image of the Mix node, then the Color Ramp connected to the mist into the bottom image. Now, by making the factor less of the mist will be visible. To control the mist distance and strength, mess around with the Color Ramp. By making the white a light gray, the mist becomes less powerful. You can also change the color from something like white to blue if you want to. If you wanted to add in another node, such as RGB curves, depending on where you place it, it can change the result. For example, if you plug it before the Mix node and into the Image node, the RGB curves would only affect the Image node. But if you plug it after the Mix node, then the RGB curves will affect everything, including the mist. And that's basically it for the mist pathway. If you need to render an animation, make sure you do the compositing before you render the final animation, so the mist is throughout the animation. Now for the second way, using volume scattering. With the same scene, reset the mist pass, then make a cube as big as you want the mist to be. I made it so that it covered everything. To make it easier to see, go to Object Properties and under Viewport Display, change it from Display as Texture to Display as Bounds. Then make a new material and apply it to the cube. Delete the principal BSDF and replace it with a volume scatter node. If you go into rendered mode, you should see very dense fog to the point where you can't even see anything. To make it lighter, turn up the anisotropy and turn on the density. I went for 0.03 for the density and 0.42 for the anisotropy. To have even more control, add in a Color Ramp and a Math node. Set the Math node to multiply and plug it into the density. Then multiply the Color Ramp by around 0.15. Now if you mess around with the Color Ramp, you can make it so that the fog starts later, gets up to a higher density faster, or just have different stages of fog. If you want to color the fog, go to the color on the volume scattering and pick the complementary color to the one you want. For example, if you want blue fog, make the scattering red. And if you want any other color, just pick the color opposite on the color wheel, as that's how light works. And it's basically done after that. After messing around for both things for a while, this is what I got. Also, just a disclaimer, the volume scattering way is pretty intense on your PC compared to the mist, which adds no render time. Thanks for watching this video on mist and fog in Blender. If you enjoyed, please leave a like and subscribe.